Okay, so here we go, Math 3 EOC review number 2. First question, in 2021, Summer bought a vehicle valued at $38,800. The vehicle is expected to depreciate. What does that mean? Go down in value at a rate of 10.7% annually. How many years will Summer's vehicle be worth 50% of its original value? Okay, so this is a classic exponential decay function. So we're going to use A equals P parentheses 1 minus R to the power of T. What is your P value in this problem? The 38,800. It's the initial amount.
What does the P stand for?
Principal.
Mine is A.
Okay.
Does that matter?
Oh, yeah, no, it doesn't. Okay, yeah, it doesn't really matter. Okay, 1 minus, what's your rate here as a decimal? 0.107. And we're looking for the time, so that's our unknown variable. What is our final amount that we want the vehicle to reach? Half of 38,800, which would be 19,400. Okay, now, once you have it set up, the rest is just Desmos. We're going to create two equations in Desmos. Y equals 19,400 and y equals 38,800. 1 minus 0.107. We're just going to put it to the power of x. Okay, we're going to go over to Desmos. Okay, and then put those two equations in. Okay, to the power of x. And we're looking to find where the equations intersect. Okay, and we have to go up really high because our y is 19,400. But we'll go up and, and zoom back in.
It's a very big number.
Oh gosh, look at the zooming. Okay, and we can see that they cross at a t-value time of 6.1. So it will take 6.1 years for the value of the car to reach half of its amount.
Yeah, I'm so good at this game.
I'm recording.
Oh.
Okay, so T is approximately 6.1 years. Okay, any questions with number 1?
How did you get 19,400?
Because it says in how many years, so we know that's our unknown, will the vehicle be worth 50%, right? So 50% is half of its original value, and so half of 38,800, I just divided it by 2. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, question 2. Find all of the vertical asymptotes for the following function. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to factor the top and factor the bottom. What does the top factor to? Thank you. What does the bottom GCF, what can you pull out?
2.
What else?
F.
What's left on the inside?
X plus 4.
Okay. We notice that there's a common factor in the numerator and the denominator, x plus 4. So what does that mean this function has?
A whole.
A whole. So we don't worry about the whole. All that we're being asked to find is the vertical asymptote. So whatever's left in the denominator, which is 2x, you set that equal to 0. What does x equal? 0. X equals 0 is your vertical asymptote. It's whatever's left in the denominator that makes the denominator 0. Now, you can also take and put the function into Desmos. That's another way you can solve this. X squared minus 16 over 2x squared plus 8x. Okay, and then I hit the home button, and you can see the vertical asymptote is x equals 0, which is the y-axis. Okay, vertical asymptote done. Any questions on number 2?
No.
Yeah, what would the whole be? Would it be -4 or 4?
Yeah, so the whole would be, great question. The whole would be at -4, comma, you plug in x minus 4 over 2x. You plug -4 in, so that'd be -8 over -8, which is +1. So if we went back over to Desmos and we, watch what happens when I click on this -4, 1. Ooh, did you just see a little undefined? Ooh, I can't get right on it for some reason.
Zoom in a little bit.
Oh. -4. Yep, there's your whole. -4, 1, which is undefined. The whole. Okay? All right, good? All right, number 3. Number 3, there are 5 properties of a parallelogram that you have to know and be able to recognize, okay? So when you solve a problem or problems on next Wednesday, May 26th, 2021, when you take your EOC, for a third period, that is, you will need to know these 5 properties, okay? Can somebody tell me one property that they know for a parallelogram?
Diagonals bisect each other.
Okay, I heard, thank you. I heard Ananya, opposite angles are congruent. And I heard Lily, diagonals bisect.
Opposite side.
Perfect. Okay. So far we have opposite angles congruent. Diagonals bisect each other. So they cut into 2 equal parts. Owen said opposite sides are congruent. What else do we know?
Is there some supplementary, like 2 corners or something?
Consecutive angles are supplementary, which means they add up to. So like A and B add together to 180, A and D, D and C, etc. Consecutive angles, supplementary, and I'm just going to put in parentheses 180. Okay, and then what's the last one? What do we know also? Thank you, Lil. Opposite sides parallel. I'll move that over here.
Can you say that?
No, we said congruent, yeah. Opposite sides parallel. Can I use the parallel symbol? Okay. Is that good? I don't know, but tell them to get in here. Thank you. Tell them before I use the white phone, and I'm being serious. Okay, number 4. An irregularly shaped stone was dropped into a graduated cylinder holding a volume of water equal to 31 milliliters. The water level rose to a height of 45 milliliters. If the mass of the stone was 14.6 grams, I forgot the unit, what is the density of the stone? Okay, so we need the density formula. What is it? D equals M over V. Thank you, Ananya. Okay, for this particular problem, they give us the mass of the stone, which is our M value. So we know that that's going to go up here. They don't outright tell us the volume because they tell us that the container has 31, and it rose to 45. So remember the term displacement? Displacement. How do we find the volume? What do we do with those two values? Thank you, Sage. Displacement is 45 minus 31, which is 14 milliliters. Okay, so that's our volume, 14.6 divided by 14 is 1.04. We'll just go that far. Oh, what does it tell it? I don't know. So 1.04 approximately grams per milliliter.
Okay, wait. So took it away. Mass density of the sun. Oh, because then you just divide mass by density.
Mass by volume.
Oh, volume. All right. So and then it's okay. Okay. Yeah.
Good? Okay, everybody good with number 4?
This Kool-Aid was so worth it.
Okay, number 5. Owen, you star. Owen was constructing a uniquely shaped bird feeder for his mom for Mother's Day. The bird feeder will have a cylindrical shaped bottom with a height of 22 inches and a diameter of 11. On top of the cylinder, there will be a hemispherical shaped dome top. Find the total amount of bird food that Owen will need to completely fill the feeder. Use pi in your volume calculations. Round your final answer to the nearest whole number.
Okay, let me try to say the formula. Isn't it like it's like 2r? No, r squared. R squared is in there.
Pi r squared.
Times
The square root.
times height.
I-
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's all.
Okay. So we have first. Let's go cylinder. So we have a cylinder bottom. Okay, I'm going to draw a little picture off to the side here. That is 22 inches tall with an 11-inch diameter.
Nice.
Okay, at the top, it's a hemispherical shaped dome. Okay, so we need two formulas. We need the volume formula for a cylinder, pi r squared h. And we need the volume formula for a sphere, but do we need the whole thing?
No, half of it.
No, we need half of it. So when we find it, we'll do
Divide by 2.
perfect.
Is it half of pi r squared?
So it's 4/3 pi r cubed.
We should just have to memorize all this, dude.
You do. Stop yelling. Okay, so for this particular problem, we're going to put it all into Desmos, but first let's set it up. So for the cylinder, what's your radius? 5.5. What's your h value? 22. So we're going to go pi times 5.5 squared times 22. And then we're going to add it to 4/3 pi. What's your radius for the hemispherical portion? Same as the radius for the cylinder.
And you divide by 2.
5.5 cubed. And then we put that all over 2. So we're, yes,
Okay.
good?
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to stick this into Desmos exactly the way that we see it. Okay, let's go over there. Let me move this thing. Okay, so we're going to go pi 5.5 squared times 22. There's the cylindrical portion plus parentheses 4/3 pi 5.5 cubed because it's a sphere. But then we have to divide that, just that, by 2. We put it directly in to the calculator. We used pi in our calculations. We're going to round to the nearest whole number. So just 2,439 cubic inches.
Yeah, just all that.
What?
Just do all that, honestly.
Yeah, inches cubed.
But like, they seriously expect us to memorize all this?
They may give you some formulas in the context of the problem.
Okay, we're letting go back to those. Like, we could just like take the formula and then just use it on multiple problems.
But I can't tell for sure if they're going to give
If I
you.
just write the formula on my arm.
Owen, let's try not to get kicked out. Okay.
Oh, facts. They kick you out, then you're done for, and then you just.
Okay, identify and describe the 4 centers of triangles. Somebody give me one. Oh my God, you and Owen said the same thing, Lily, at the same time. Stop. Okay, circumcenter. Okay, circumcenter is the intersection of the perpendicular bisectors. Does anybody know what it is equidistant from? Yes.
Oh, I heard you guess.
Stop it. Equidistant.
Hey, you like my shirt?
Yes, I saw it. From vertices. The angles of the triangle. Heavens. The angles, vertices, where the corners.
Oh.
Okay, what's another one? Lily and Anya beat you. Centroid. We'll do yours next, though.
There's one that starts with O.
Centroid. What's the centroid the intersection of? Medians.
Oh, isn't this one where the all the midlines are the same?
This is the 2/3, 1/3. It's the 2-to-1 ratio. Intersection of medians.
Are the midlines the same distance though, or no?
No.
That's what it is.
So it's 2/3, 1/3, 2-to-1 ratio. Okay, Lily said in center. In center is the intersection of the, oops, I was writing. Oh my gosh, what was that? Somebody stopped me there. What was that?
Stop.
In center, intersection of the angle bisectors. Does anybody remember what this is equidistant from?
Sides.
Yep, equidistant from the sides of the triangle.
Oh.
Are you sure?
Okay, and last one. Orthocenter.
I said that.
You did. Okay, well, I don't have room over there. I'll put it up here. Orthocenter, and that is the intersection of the altitudes of the triangle.
What does that mean?
It's like it's the least used one. It's like they come from the altitude comes from the vertex, runs perpendicular, only just perpendicular to the opposite side.
Oh, where the 90-degree angles are?
Wouldn't need to know what those.
Not that you wouldn't need to know it. It just, I mean, you need to know what it is, but you don't really do much with it. I mean, we didn't do anything with it other than knowing what it is. It's the intersection of the altitudes.
I like seeing you play. I'm a pro gamer.
What league
Good.
are you
What?
in? What league are you in?
Okay, keep going. Number 7.
I'm in Masters.
A triangle with vertices at 0, 0, 8, 0, and 0, 3 is plotted in the coordinate plane. The triangle is then rotated about the y-axis to form a solid of revolution. Find the volume of the solid. Use pi in your calculations. Round your answer to the nearest hundredth. Okay, so let's quick sketch it in our notes. Okay, just a quick sketch, nothing fancy. Okay, so if we quick sketch, it's going to be 0, 0, 8, 0, and 0, 3. Okay, we'll create the right triangle. Okay, so think about it like this. This is what you see, and you are rotating it about the y-axis. What solid of revolution will be formed?
Oh,
A cone. Does anybody remember the cone formula or the volume formula for a cone?
1/3 pi r cubed.
Perfect.
Is it cubed or squared?
Squared. 1/3 pi r squared times height. What's your r value here? What would serve as the radius? 8. What would serve as the height? 3. So we're going to go into Desmos and we're going to type in 1/3 pi times 8 squared times 3. Okay, go to Desmos. 1/3 pi 8 squared times 3. 201, what did it say, 100th.06.
I think I missed a problem.
Because you're playing Clash of Titans or whatever the heck
Clash
it is.
Royale.
I said three.
I don't know. 201.06 units cubed, we'll say.
Okay, so wait, where'd you get the 1/3 from? Is it a
Because
triangle?
it's part of the formula.
Okay, so then 8 squared because that's
The radius length. And we're creating a solid, so it's going to become a cone.
Where'd you get 3 from? Height?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it be 6 though?
No.
Oh, because you're just rotating it. That's why.
So think about it though, that if it's rotating it, so it's here, it's rotating it around, what would the diameter become? 16, yeah. Good? All right, 7 done. Number 8. Number 8, it says use synthetic division to find the result when the cubic polynomial is divided by x plus 5. If there is a remainder, express it in that form, and then use our answer to determine if the binomial is indeed a factor. So we're dividing this by this binomial. We're using synthetic division. So if we use synthetic division, what goes on the outside of our synthetic division box? Perfect, -5. What goes along the top on the inside?
1 plus 5 minus 7 minus 28.
Okay, now let me ask you this. If something was missing in degrees as you move down, so see how it goes a degree 3, a degree 2, a degree 1, and then none? So we're not missing anything. If we were missing something, does anybody remember what you put there? 0 placeholder, okay? But we don't have to worry about that. So now we're going to do the synthetic division, which is an algorithm. Drop, multiply, add,
I can do it now.
multiply, add, multiply, add. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Drop,
1,
multiply,
-5,
add,
0,
multiply,
0,
add,
-7,
multiply,
35,
add.
7.
Perfect. So just right now, before we put our answer, is this binomial x plus 5 a factor?
No,
No, because why?
because it left you with a remainder.
Right. And if you didn't have a remainder of 0, then it would be a factor. So x plus 5 is not a factor because there is a remainder. Because of remainder. Now, if it was a 0, then it would be a factor. Okay, let me write the quotient answer. X squared plus 0x minus 7. And then we put our remainder over, that looks weird. That's a weird 7. Over x plus 5. Good? Okay, 2 more. All right, and everybody good? Number 9. Ooh, I love questions like number 9. Number 9 is a composition of functions.
Oh, I got that.
This is read f of g of 25.
Yeah.
So we have to plug 25 into the g of x function, get our answer, and then plug it back in to the f of x function. So we're going to type in root 25 minus, what are those little things called?
Absolute value.
Oh my gosh, I taught you guys something this year. Well, maybe not this year, I don't know. Okay, what's the square root of 25? What's the absolute value of 25? What's 5 minus 25? Okay, now you've got your negative 20. What do we then do with negative 20? Plug it into the f of x function. 3 parentheses negative 20 minus 2 parentheses negative 20 squared. Do we just want to do this mental math? Or we could do it in Desmos, but let's just do it mental math. What's 3 times negative 20? What is negative 20 squared?
400.
What's 400
Negative
times? 800. Yep. So this would be minus 800, essentially, which is what our final answer?
Negative 860.
Negative 860.
So when will we use this in life?
Well, conveniently, on Wednesday, May 26th, you have a end of course exam for North Carolina Math 3, and you will utilize these skills at that time.
What day is it? Wednesday.
Maybe in
Oh, wait,
pre-calc,
can I
math
still
4.
redo the test? Because I got like 2 tests I need to redo still.
Well, yeah, their codes are all posted. You're welcome.
Where?
I'll show you after this.
We should have done the EOC on Monday.
First period is.
Ew. Why would you ever?
Okay, any questions on number 9?
Heck no.
I was gonna do it.
I'd kill myself.
All right. Number 10. Determine the features of the graph. We are looking at amplitude, midline, period, frequency, minimum, and maximum. Okay, amplitude, what is it?
-2.
Heavens.
It is
Two.
Thank you. Why is amplitude a positive 2?
What is the length?
Because it's a distance. Amplitude is 2. You take the absolute value. All that negative means at the front is that instead of going, instead of going midline max, midline min, back to the midline, it goes midline to the minimum first. Okay? Amplitude is 2. What is your midline equation?
Y equals 7.
Oh my gosh, excellent. What is your period or one cycle of this graph? 2 pi over 5. Remember, 2 pi over your b value. B value has another name called the frequency, and that tells us how many cycles there are of the graph in 2 pi. What's your frequency? 5.
His frequency is 5.
Frequency is 5.
And the B value is 5.
And the b value is 5. That is the
Period is
same.
2 pi over.
So frequency
Exactly.
is B, the period is just
2 pi over b.
Alright.
Okay, lastly, I want you to tell me, where is the maximum height this is going to reach? Where is the minimum?
7, 5.
Ooh, careful, because you get the max from the midline plus
That's what I'm
the
saying.
amplitude,
So it's
9,
and then 5.
and then 5. Minimum at 5. So it reaches a max height of 9 and a min height of 5. Okay, any questions here?
No.
Are we gonna be tested on this
What's
value?
her one today?
No, not in Honors Math 3. The phase shift, nope.
Look at him.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, I'm going to pause, stop this recording, and I'm going to post it for those of you, and I'll post the notes.
Yes, sir, Jits.
And